How do you start becoming a stand-up comedian? Or what what's the entry point for a stand-up comedian? How do you do it, basically? This question has been asked to me after every single show that I've done. But at the most recent show that I did, like 4 or 5 people kept asking me the same question. How do I get started? How do I do stand-up comedy? And I've decided that if it's going to be that popular of a question that I'm going to get, I might as well make a little video describing to you guys not only how I got started in stand up comedy and how I began my journey, but how you can too, and the little things that you can do here or there to begin stand up. If you don't know who I am, my name is Ron, and I've been a practicing stand up comedian for just a little under a year now, which does sound like a very little amount of time. Which is actually what I think makes it perfect for me to be the one making this video for you. Is I don't just remember what it was like getting started. I'm still getting started. I'm right here in the trenches doing what I'm about to tell you in order to get my career moving. Me and a few of the other comedians that I work around are just getting started, and these are a few of their tips, a few of their stories, and the first one is the method on how I got to perform at my first show without any open mics being in my area. So that's the second part of this, is that it's not really going to matter whether you're in a very small little area or a huge city. This video can help you get to a point where you're on stage. That's what matters. For me, it was one of those little rural areas. I live in a place called Elko, and for the longest time, Elko had no stand-up comedy scene. Like, I mean none. Until they opened this one little bar, it's called the Stage Door. And the Stage Door will hold a few stand-up comedy events, but they're not huge on the open mics. The open mics, A, don't make them very much money, and B, don't see a huge crowd here. So for a long time, they quit doing them. So how did I get onto a stage here in town? Well, I went to their website over at thestagedoor.com, and I went to their events thing, and I just started scrolling through to see if they had any stand-up shows, any kind of them, that hadn't been released yet with a full flyer. Because when they release the full flyer, that's when they have a set list. That's when they have everybody booked. That's when everybody's ready to perform. So if you can find one without a performers list on it, this is perfect. This is your target show. You want to find this one because you're not going to be inconveniencing a soul over this. Once you find that show, once you get the dates, once you get all the information that you need for this show, all that you need to do is keep exploring their website. Whichever club that you're looking at the website of right now, keep exploring their website, and eventually you're going to find a place that has contact info. Oftentimes that email address will directly link you up to the person holding the event and booking the event. Sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes they just give you a secondary email, which is what happened to me. The event was being held by a third party, so I just had to send another email. But both of these emails, the exact same. All that you are going to do is very politely ask if it would be okay for you to go out and perform at this paid show completely free of charge. Which I know, it sounds stupid to get started with your career by doing it for free all the time. But this works for basically anything. I have never met a person or a manager of any kind that isn't willing to give you a chance, isn't willing to risk you doing something if it's free. Because that's no risk for them. They don't have to pay you, they don't have to do anything for you. At the very worst, they just don't welcome you back. And as I said, that works for anything. You want to become an accountant? Go offer to fix somebody's books for free. But for comedy, you're going to ask to do a free show. And what happened with me, at least, is they gave me a 5-minute window right after the opener. And the opener explained it and everything. Like, this is his first time. He's just going out here and trying this. Be nice to him. But that little 5-minute window doesn't inconvenience the show. It doesn't really harbor anything. It doesn't put anybody behind or late. So nobody's really going to mind giving you that 5 minutes. If you live in a big city, if you live somewhere with real events and stuff going on, then you can basically disregard the last 3 minutes or whatever I was talking about that. You're not going to need to send any emails. You're not going to need to really do any of that. All that you're going to do if you live in a large city with a big population is, in order to find stand-up shows in your area, all you really want to do is go onto Facebook or Instagram and look up your city and comedy. And then you will normally find either a Facebook group or specifically a page of a comedy production company. Those are the people who hold open mic nights. Those are the people who do paid events in these larger cities. Sometimes the bar does it themselves, but what you're going to want to do once you've found this is, A, they either post when these open mic nights are going to be. They will tell you, like, every Sunday, every Wednesday, whatever. Or you can message the person who runs the page. And at least what happened for me when I did this in the Reno community is that I received a small flyer that had the dates of all the open mic nights, which in Reno, they do 2 open mic nights a night, every night. So I'm sure that you can at least find a stage to get on if you're in one of those bigger cities. That's not going to be a challenge for you as much as the person we talked about in scenario A, where they're from a really small area, maybe even have to travel to another town in order to find the one comedy club nearby that does a thing. But you don't have to worry about any of that. The only tip that I have that works for both of these, though, whether you're just finding an open mic night and going out, or you have to ask for a free opportunity, you have to ask to risk it. Whether you're doing either one of these things, my only real tip to you guys about starting stand-up, it's a very fluid kind of career. There's a lot of different ways to do it. There's a lot of different people's methods and stuff. So a few people have probably told you that it's safe to just wing it. Which, as I said, there's a lot of different people out there, a lot of different methods. You might be okay just winging it. Personally, I practice, even before an open mic night, I practice my set. I get it down to the key point. But all that you need to do in order to make sure that you don't make a fool of yourself up there, or you don't totally blank, is you just want a joke list, okay? Not even fully written out jokes. Just like, this is the first one I'm telling, this is the second one I'm telling, this is the third one I'm telling. It sounds simple, but make sure you at least have that lined up in your head. And with these 3 jokes, make sure you know what the funny part is, what you expect to get people to laugh, what you think the punchline should be. But other than that, stand-up comedy is super subjective, and you can do almost anything on that stage, and somebody's going to be entertained. You can find your crowd, no matter what you're doing. That's probably my only other piece of advice to you is do it. Don't sit here freaking out about getting on a stage or worrying what your family's going to think or how hard this career is going to be. Whether you make it a career or not, oh well. It's a super fun hobby, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience for a few people. So if you get the opportunity to get on a stage, don't let your fear keep you back. Get on the stage. I hope this video helped a few people at least get a better understanding, if not of how I got into stand-up comedy, but hopefully how you can get into stand-up comedy too. Other than that, I hope that you guys have a beautiful day. I really want you to subscribe, and please leave me a comment of if you actually go out and do it, or if you even plan to. I would love to follow a few more amateur comedians who are just trying to get started, just trying to boost their channel up. I would love to see you guys down in the comments, and I would love to go and support your channel. So please comment down below whether you're getting your start, whether you're getting going, and lastly, if the video did help you, just leave a little like. That way it can help the next guy. Other than that, I hope you guys have a beautiful day and hope you get on a stage soon.